Welcome, YouTube world, to my Leia. As you know, my name is Gabriel Flores, aka the one, the only, maybe Lee. Just kicking fire through mics right now, and stuff like that. Basically, we're getting close to the finale. We have 16 days until the finale. Tomorrow will be day 16. So tomorrow 16, 15, 14, 13, and then the finale. And the finale lasts 2 days. The finale is like my mountain in this life and features a famous producer. The climax leading up to the finale is like the culmination of all my secrets to this life. So it's kind of like a mystical and intriguing, mystical climax, and then we get to the finale. And, I hope you guys like it. Stay tuned. Check out my other episodes if you haven't already done so. In these episodes, I pair together two main points. The first main point is something about me, my personal life, and the second main point is another topic that I add to it. And I either do research or not the morning before, the morning that I air, and gather my thoughts. And if I need to do research, I'll do research. And then every day at 4 p.m., I film a 17-minute episode, which is what we're doing right here. So today I want to talk about kind of carrying on from yesterday about the hobbies, about my rap pad, which is it's basically my version of a diary, but it's for rapping. And basically, it's something new that I created. I've always written raps before in the past, and I've compiled raps and stuff in folders and on the computer, but I've never created like a rap pad, which I call a rap pad. And my rap pad is unique, which is why I call it a rap pad, because it features an epilogue and a prologue, which an epilogue comes before and a prologue comes after. Basically, the epilogue is what led up to the rap pad being created, and what led up to the current stream of work that you created is what the epilogue is. So the rap pad gives you extra insight, a new perspective into the raps. You're going to hear the raps, but you're going to know what led up to those. So you're going to have a more dynamic result when you listen to them because of that. And then I put a prologue in there to discuss the results of my findings, any new things that popped up during the writing process, the future, what the future looks like after that point. So that's why my rap pad is unique. I have a logo and stuff like that, and artwork, that sketches that I put in there. It's not just written word. It's not just the raps themselves, but it's my piece of paper, it's my pad of paper. So whatever I'm doing at the time, if I think of something and I want to write it down, then I write it down. It's in there. Or artwork, anything basically that I want to put in there is in there. And if I look through it, I could define what's in there by looking at it. But from here, at this point in time, I could just tell you that I put anything in there. I didn't really, that I can remember. I don't remember having like specific things that I was just going to put in there. I had goals to achieve, but even the goals, they're just goals. I'm not getting paid for it. It's not a critical thing. So even my goals that I have, I don't care about. I don't care if they're achieved or not. They're just, things that I would like to achieve. If they're not, that's fine. If they are achieved, that's fine too. But that's really all I can remember about the rap pad stuff that's in there. And there's kind of it follows a certain format, but it's not like a standard format or anything. But you'll see that there's a certain flow to it. When you look at it, you'll see a certain flow to what I did in the rat pad. And the topics basically came about mainly the same way, which is stuff that's bothering me and stuff like that. And that's usually how my writing starts. I write usually during the morning time, right here in this chair. And what I do is I have a lot of stuff to write about because I have a lot of stuff bothering me, so it's easy to do. I just pop on the instrumental and start writing whatever is on my mind and stuff like that. And I don't find it fun. For me, writing raps isn't like a fun thing. It's work for me because I have to. I would much rather live like a monk in silence for my entire life because that's more pleasurable than doing work. The most pleasure you can get from this life is living in silence. And so, if you want to make somebody unhappy, take them from their silence, and then you know that they're not as satisfied. That's how you know. So, in this life, ultimate peak of pleasure is when you're in your silent place. So that's a little bit of insight and knowledge to this life that I've learned and that I want to impart on you guys about writing. It's not, for me, it's not fun. It's not pleasure. I don't get pleasure out of doing it, but they're things that are bothering my mind. Because unfortunately, we have to use our minds in this life to do certain things that we have to do, such as eating and working and taking care of responsibilities, our kids, growing up, going to school, going to work, hanging out with our friends, paying our bills. And we have to use our minds at those times to accomplish those tasks. And there's something fundamentally wrong with this life because those tasks should be able to be accomplished without any problems. But unfortunately, there's things that are interdicting me from accomplishing the tasks I need to accomplish in this life, which is bad, which is a faultiness to this life. And because of that, I have to write. And so that's the reason why I write. Now, I want to do a good job in stuff that I do, so I put care and stuff that I learn and stuff that's important into my work. So that's something that's good that comes from it. That's a good part, I guess, a good exhaust that comes from my writing. In addition to, it helps me get back to my quiet place and the peak of my existence, I guess you could say. So that's what I am currently doing. My rat pad's getting bigger and bigger by the day. And I just use whatever paper is available to me. I don't have a set way of doing it, of doing the rat pad. I just have different types of paper and I use all of them, and I'm just adding to my rat pad. And by the minute it's getting bigger. So we'll see how big it gets. I just recently purchased a binder that I'm going to use as a professional portfolio, that I'm going to select a few of my works and highlight them in the portfolio. And then I'm not going to change the original piece of works themselves, but I'll outfit the original piece of works with additional papers on top of it. Or if I write on it, then I'll write with a different color or something will be different about it to offset it from the original work. I'll do that in the professional binder, or I'll even rewrite the original work in a better handwriting, but keep the original in there too for the professional thing, because I don't want to mess up the original because that's the artwork right there. So if you're looking for a portfolio that's honest, and that's what you got to do. You got to put the original work in there too. But yeah, you can outfit the original piece of work with extra troops and extra armor on the Humvees and stuff like that. That's what I'm going to do with this portfolio. And then what I'm going to do with the portfolio is um, use it as an advertisement tool to get a job with my own business, get people to hire me to do written works for them, speaking type stuff, and whatever else they need me to do. So it's basically just going to be an advertisement tool. So rap pad is an important part of my hobby. Writing raps. It's a fundamental part of what I'm doing here. Because I want to keep an accurate depiction of what's happening there on the writing the raps. I want people to know, it's not just how it came about mainly. Because before, when I was a kid, I never really wrote too much. I would write mainly when I had stuff on my mind. So even then, I've never just took up to writing for a fun thing. It was because something was bothering me. So it's always been like that. And now that I have more resources and I'm better equipped, I can give a better perspective on that piece of paper of why I'm actually writing on that piece of paper. And for me, it's more fulfilling that way, to do it like that. Plus, it's taken a little bit of knowledge that I've learned somewhere else and applying it here. Because as you guys know, an epilogue and a prologue comes from a book. When an author writes a book, they do an epilogue and a prologue. So it's taking knowledge from somewhere else and applying it there. So, it's kind of cool to do like that. Rap pad isn't just unique to me. Artists keep track of their work all the time. But for me, I do it in a certain way, and we never see the artist's work. We just see the finished product. We don't see how they got there. We don't see the actual piece of papers that they wrote on or how they arrived there and stuff like that. Except for one artist, Nas. He is a little bit unique because he takes on the topic head on. And I did a little bit more research on this from the website YouTube, which we're on YouTube right now. From the website YouTube, entitled Nas Dash Book of Rhymes, published by Knox ZR, published on December 26, 2007. Quote unquote, Gandhi was a fool, nigga fight to the death, quote unquote, from the song. And this is his book of rhymes. It's unique because he doesn't like his book of rhymes. He doesn't provide any characteristics of his book of rhymes. He just provides the contents of his book of rhymes. So you don't get to, in the song, he only describes the contents of his book of rhymes, but he doesn't describe the characteristics of his book of rhymes. So you don't know if it's on a white piece of paper or if it has, I guess an epilogue and prologue is still the contents. So, but you don't get to say, well, it's loose leaf paper. You don't know if it's loose leaf paper, if it's in a binder, or if it's on a crumpled piece of paper. Well, I guess he does provide a little bit of characteristics because in the song, you have crumpled paper. You can hear crumpled paper, which is after. So because he doesn't like his book of rhymes, so that crumpled means that he's crumpling it up and throwing it away because he doesn't like his book of rhymes. But even despite that, so it makes you wonder why he goes through an entire song and repeats his book of rhymes into a song. And one of the quotes that he has in there is, Gandhi is a fool, nigga fight to the death. But he goes through different parts of his rhyme book. He flips through it and says different stuff from his book of rhymes. He'll say it until he reaches a point that he doesn't like it anymore, and then he'll go to another part of his book of rhymes and say whatever's there until he doesn't like it, and then he'll go somewhere else. And that's the entire song. He doesn't provide too much of what it looks like, so that would have been something unique he could have done with the book of rhymes. But all in all, it relates to what I'm doing right here. So I find that pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool. It's a pretty cool song. But my rap pad. So yeah, I just wanted to discuss my rap pad and how it relates to Nas. I can relate to Nas further because I've threw away some of my old rhymes too because I can relate to him. He doesn't like them because of the way it sounds, of the way he sounds and stuff like that. And he doesn't like the things he says when in the current time. So I can relate to that, and which has led to me throwing it away too. So that's another thing, a big thing that I can relate to Nas about. Anyways, guys, check in next time. You guys have a good day. See you later.